Welcome all of you. My name is Part1-1, the Deputy Director of the Academic Impact Korea in support of United Nations Academic Impact, also known as AIK. We'll now begin the opening ceremony for the second UNAI Collegian Research Paper Contest and Global Conference. Please be seated. First, if I may, we would like to hear welcoming remarks from Academic Impact Korea co-chair Dr. Kim Young-gil. Please give him a warm round of applause.
Good morning. Welcome. On behalf of all organizers of this conference, such as UN Academic Impact, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea, and Academic Impact Korea in support of UNAI, known as UNAI Korea, and Handong Global Universities and UN Global Compact. It is my distinct honor for me to deliver welcoming address for the second UNAI Collegian Paper Contest and Global Conference in Seoul, Republic of Korea. I welcome all of you with my sincere, heartfelt appreciations to all participants from within Korea and from around the world. I am deeply honored today to have quite a few dignitaries, such as President of the International Association of University Presidents, IAUP, Dr. Toyoshi Sato. He is also the Chancellor of the JF Auburn University in Tokyo, Japan. And a big hand. And the Chief of the UN Academic Impact, Mr. Ram Damodaran from New York headquarters in New York. And also the honorable foreign diplomats of the Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Colombia, Dominican Republic, Kenya, and Laos. Also the former ambassador of Korea to China, Kwon Byung-hyun, former ambassador of Korea to UN, Lee Si-young, and Im Jae-hong of the Sri Lanka ambassadors, and also Executive Director of Korea Export and Import Banks, Im Sung-hyuk. Okay. And at this time, I'd like to introduce the co-chair of UNAI Korea, Ji Sung-han. Please stand up, Ji Sung. Last year, many young students who participated in the first Collegian Research Paper Competition and Global Development Conference had suggested creative and insightful ideas on the theme of assessment in UN Millennium Development Goals and prospect of post-2015 frameworks. Global problems and challenges we are facing now are the energies, climate changes, food, and water. We need to learn to create carbon-free, endless green energy for environmental sustainability. In order to solve the global problems, we have to cultivate a global mindset through global education on sustainable development for future leaders. This is well reflected in the UN Secretary General's, His Excellency Ban Ki-moon's message, quote, "Thinking globally in a global age," quote, end. The objective of the MDG in 2000 aimed at halving the world's extreme poverty and ensuring environmental sustainability, etc., by the year 2015. The world community has been spending much of their effort to reduce world hunger and poverty, especially since the establishment of MDG, but result is much less than hoped for originally. The purpose of this conference is for young representatives to discuss prospects for post-MDG frameworks and global engagement by universities. Looking around this room, and I am very thrilled that young students like you are discussing global issues and seeking solutions to global challenges. This is truly worthwhile thing to do because young people represent a quarter of the global population, and in the future, the world is yours to run. The UN academic impact needs collaborative cooperation, assistance from the universities, their professors, their students, and research institutes all over the world to pursue bedrock principles in the area of peace, development, protection of human rights. Over 1,000 institutions of higher education in the world joined as UNAI members put their effort to use education as an engine for addressing global problems by formally endorsing 10 principles of the UN academic impact. Indeed, Academic Impact Korea, consisting of about 50 universities in Korea, has been vigorously supporting the work of UNAI since its establishment in 2012. Our future well-being will depend on global thinking with global action now. We have to open our minds, thinking globally and act globally. We are all united for common goal of seeking better and more prosperous and peaceful world. More than ever, educational leaders, professors, and students are called upon to tackle the challenge together, all as responsible global citizens of global community. We have to foster global citizenship and leadership. The world faces global challenges, which requires global solution. These interconnected global challenges call for far-reaching changes in how we think and act for the dignity of fellow human beings. We look forward to working more closely with all of you to bring it to life in a meaningful way, to build a better world for all through this conference. Thank you again to all participants in this second UNAI Collegian Paper Contest Global Conference in Seoul, Korea. Thank you for your kind attention. Welcome again.
Next, we would like to see a video message by the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon. Last year, he participated in the first Collegian research competition, but this year he couldn't, but he sent the congratulatory message for us.
Dr. Kim Young-gil, co-chair, Academic Impact Korea, Mr. Ji Sung-han, co-chair, Academic Impact Korea, Dr. Jang Sun-hong, President, Handong Global University, Dr. Sato Toyoshi, Chancellor, JF Oberlin University and affiliated schools in Japan. I thank the Korean Association in support of the United Nations Academic Impact for organizing this conference and research paper contest. I especially welcome the students from Academic Impact member universities and chapters of Aspire. The United Nations is dealing with wars, disasters, and other immediate crises. But we are also addressing the longer-range need for a sustainable future. The The Millennium Development Goals represent the greatest campaign against global poverty in history. We are intensifying our push to research the MDGs. We are shaping a bold agenda for sustainable development after 2015. And we are mobilizing global action to address climate change. Next month in New York, I will hold a climate summit with the government leaders, civil society groups, business executives, and academics to share bold ideas for solutions. I count all of you, especially the students, to help advance progress on reaching the MDGs, adopting a new development agenda, and realizing a meaningful climate agreement. I wish you great success at this conference, and I look forward to your many contributions to our collective future. Thank you.
Next, we will see congratulatory video message by Dr. Jang Sun-hung, the president of Handong Global University. He is right now in Fiji, so he could not make it. Handong Global University is one of the UN hub universities, also co-sponsor of this contest.
Dear distinguished guests, professors, and future leaders, students, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm more than glad to address congratulatory message to the second UNAI Collegian Research Paper Contest and Global Conference. I wish you a very successful conference. In this very second, you are hearing a dreadful story from all over the world, conflict in Israel and Gaza and Ukraine, Ebola virus outbreak in Africa, natural disaster in China and elsewhere, and the growing tension in Northeast Asia. It seems like we do not see any progress in peace in the global community. 70 years ago, the founder of the United Nations may have thought the same things. However, they did not remain in depression, but they chose to take a bold step to establish a safety net for peace and stability for our global community. The world has changed as the automation and globalization of our global society enter ahead. A sole representative from each government could not handle the situation around the world. As the preamble of the United Nations Charter mentioned that, at the very first sentence, which begins as the you, the people came out to fall at the center of our concern. Therefore, I believe that this conference serves as a valuable platform to cope with the global issues that are close to the people by taking issues such as education, appropriate technology, marginal populations, and environment. I wish this conference would overflow with the creative, fresh ideas that would bring the new paradigm of action for better futures. In the Handong Global University, you teach our students to learn to share with the people in need. Handong Global University is designated as the Global Hub University by UNAI, and it is promoting capacity building in higher education systems. Genuine peace and stability in the world will grow from effective education. And I believe that education has to be rooted in the world considerations. As the Handong Global University motto, "Why not change the world?" tells, I hope this conference would bring about mutual learning experience that eventually helping hand to people in need. Lastly, I would like to thank UNAI Korean Association in support of UNAI, the Global Compact Korea, and Ministry of Foreign Affairs for holding this wonderful conference. Thank you.
Next, Executive Director, the Export-Import Bank of Korea, that is in charge of Economic Development Cooperation Fund, Im Sung-hyuk, will deliver congratulatory remarks. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Good morning, distinguished guests, university students who are today's main guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by thanking Chairman Kim Yong-gil and UN Academic Impact staff for organizing the second UNAI Collegian Research Paper Contest and Global Conference. I would also like to extend my sincere congratulations on the opening of this conference, and thank you for inviting me to speak. As you already well know, we are fast approaching 2015, which is the target year of the MDGs. At this critical juncture, this conference has significant implications. International discussions on a new development cooperation framework to replace MDGs after 2015 are well on the way. Ladies and gentlemen, Korea is a country that has a unique development experience and made extraordinary achievements in economic growth, thereby transforming itself from an aid recipient to a donor country in just half a century. In this context, inclusive economic growth, which wasn't treated seriously in the MDGs discussion, is now included as one of the 4 priorities to achieve, while mobilizing development finance is emerging as another important issue. In accordance with these new trends, the Economic Development Cooperation Fund, which is Korea's loan aid program, has increased its effort for infrastructure development to help developing countries achieve sustainable development. There is an old saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This simple truth that helping a friend to grow is ultimately helping myself to grow becomes particularly convincing today, where the world is getting more intertwined than ever before. Likewise, proactive participation and the creative ideas from the academia and the young college students like you are strongly encouraged to help reduce poverty and achieve growth in developing countries. To this end, the EDCF will make our utmost efforts for the creative and useful ideas presented today through research papers to be deeply embedded into development projects for our partner countries. In closing, I sincerely hope that today's conference will serve as a good opportunity to enhance college students' understanding on a new paradigm of development cooperation and to make post-2015 prospects more promising down the road. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Last, of course, not least, we would like to hear congratulatory remarks from Mr. Ramu Damodaran, the Chief of the United Nations Academic Impact Secretariat, Outreach Division, UNDPI. Please welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Thank you, sir. President Yong-gil Kim, Chancellor Sato, Mr. Executive Director, it was a little more than 4 years ago that I first met President Yong-gil Kim. He came to visit me in New York because he'd heard about this new concept the United Nations had called the academic impact. And he was brought to the United Nations by a senior member of the faculty of Handong Global University, who was a charming man who invariably lost his way. And when they came to the United Nations, they asked various security guards, where is the Academic Impact Office? And no one had heard of the Academic Impact. So when I see all of you today and the celebration that you have been good enough to put together 4 years later, the fact that you have taken us on this path, beginning in 2011, when President Kim hosted the first global forum for the United Nations Academic Impact, in this city, to the first of the Collegian essay contest last year, to the one this year, I realize with a sense of humility what our Secretary General referred to when he said governments cannot do it alone. And I say this with respect and with consciousness that we have distinguished representatives of several governments with us here this morning. But I think they and the people they represent would be among the first to say that what you can bring, this collective